So, last time I reviewed a terrible movie about a character with a weird name. So today I'm going to be reviewing a movie about a character with a weird name. Yay, consistency! When you think of Rob Reiner's work, the first things that come to mind are This Is Spinal Tap, or Misery, or A Few Good Men. And then you have his 1994 movie North. It's based off of a book by Alan Zweibel and stars Elijah Wood in his pre-Frodo days alongside a whole all-star cast of actors like Bruce Willis, Dan Aykroyd, Abe Vigoda, Kathy Bates, and John Lovitz. However, when the movie was released, it was both a critical and commercial bomb, with some critics even calling it one of the worst movies of all time. The most infamous review came from At the Movies with Gene Siskel and Roger Ebert, who not only called it the worst movie of 1994, but also gave us one of the best Ebert quotes of all time.
I hated this movie. Hated this movie. Hated it. Hated every simpering, stupid, vacant, audience-insulting moment of it.
Yikes. But can it really be considered one of the worst comedies of all time? Well, let's head north and find out. Just roll the footage. We begin with our titular character North, played by Elijah Wood, at the dinner table in the middle of an anxiety attack. Then again, you'd be power leveling too if your parents were George Costanza and Elaine Benes. Who's the uncle? Newman?
Pants, that's what I know. I know pants, all kinds of pants.
So going into this movie, I was under the impression that North was living in an abusive family, which is why he wanted to separate from them and move on to a new family. But from what we've seen, North seems to be living a good life. He's excelling at school, he's good at sports, he's good at theater, though his TV performance leaves a lot to be desired.
All day long I'd pretty bum if I were a wealthy man.
He got better. No, the problem North has is that he feels he's being neglected by his parents, and this neglect is causing him to stress out and affect his performance in all aspects of his life. Even author Alan Zweibel is asking him why this movie based on his book is bombing this bad. How will North get his parents' attention?
Stupid Rachel did to me today.
I saw some blood in my stool this morning. What's the matter, son? Here, loosen his pants.
I think that's a little too much attention. So this is an issue that could be easily solved with a simple son-to-parents intervention, right? No. Instead, North decides the best thing to do is go to his special spot at the mall, a large armchair, and think about his life. Bruce Willis, who has been providing narration throughout this whole thing, finally makes his big introduction in a pink bunny outfit. Going from killing terrorists to cosplaying as the Energizer Bunny? God damn it, McClane!
It's my folks. All they care about is themselves.
They don't know what a good thing they got in you, right?
Exactly. And they're the only ones. You should hear what all the other parents say about me.
North always looks both ways.
North never spoils his appetite.
North flosses.
North was adopted when he was 2. His parents spoiled him rotten often. He asks himself, what did he do to get as far as he's gotten? North is a talented kid, but his parents don't appreciate true high-end talent. This is just unacceptable.
It's not like baseball, where if you don't like the deal you have with one team, you can become a free agent and try to get a better deal with another team.
So basically, Bunny Bruce is suggesting that North go from the Packers to the Jets. Hey, it worked for Aaron Rodgers, right? Again, this issue could be solved with a little conversing with his folks, but no. North goes through with it and enlists the help of Richie Rich here to set up an ad so rich people can bid on him to become their son. I don't think that's how adoption works, but okay. Granted, North does try to give his parents one last chance to make up, but unfortunately his father is too busy modeling pants in a booth next to Hasidic Jews. Now, I don't work at a clothing store, but do jobs like this actually exist? And if they do, are they this stereotypical? Speaking of stereotypes, North meets a lawyer, played by John Lovitz, who is introduced chasing after an ambulance. Get it? Lawyer? Ambulance chaser? Yeah. The jokes in this movie are tremendous. Eventually, Winchell's article becomes such a huge sensation that it actually goes international. North's parents take it well. This eventually leads to a courtroom scene where we see the judge, played by the late Alan Arkin, overlooking North's case. Except worse than any judge I've ever seen in any media play. Judge Judy included.
Once both sides have been heard, then it'll be my job to pass judgment. Obviously, you can all pass judgment too, but it won't count. That's because I am the one who is the judge.
I mean, if you were to judge the jokes in this movie, is it really fair for the judge to judge how North is able to judge his family? Don't judge me.
Your Honor, the defense rests.
Then there's nothing left for me to do but make my judgment. And in my judgment, any folks who would sleep through a trial like this are folks who don't deserve to have a wonderful, upstanding son like North.
Sleeping? I'm pretty sure they're dead. Why is everybody in this courtroom more brain dead than the jury in that Three Stooges short? So North wins the case because lull, and he begins his journey to find a new family. His first stop? Texas! His new parents are Ma Tex and Pa Tex, played by Reba McEntire and Dan Aykroyd. Look at these fools. Ted Cruz would be embarrassed by these two, and he himself is an embarrassment. They ride around in JBL's limo. They live on a giant farm with a fat-ass mansion that, I swear, it looks like one of those fake flat buildings held up by boards that they just put on a soundstage. Speaking of fat asses, Ma and Pa Tex are looking to fatten up North just like their recently deceased son. Though I'm not gonna lie, that chicken fried steak looks amazing. Mind sharing that?
And you'll be like Buck.
Who?
Our first son, biggest boy this big state's ever seen. Well, he could eat more in one day than anyone else could eat in a whole month.
He made a lot of money making those so-called YouTube videos. Mukbangs, I think they were called.
Don't you fret about not being able to clean up your plate. Why, pretty soon that stomach of yours will stretch and stretch, and your capacity for food will just grow and grow.
Yeah, this totally doesn't sound like child abuse at all. North's got his whole life ahead of him, and you want to turn him into the next Pavarotti? What are you gonna do next? Sing a cringy song about it?
We had a son who was trampled by a ton of longhorns, but you're here cutes to fill his boots as flat as they may be.
And right on cue. Yeah, I'm not gonna exaggerate that this is probably Dan Aykroyd's most embarrassing role. And keep in mind, he was in a movie where he played an old man with a cock for a nose. And Reba McEntire, well, she had that terrible sitcom, and I'm not a country music fan, so make of that what you will. Besides, I can think of much better songs about fattening people up. Don't you know that other kids are starving in Japan, North?
You'll grow tall and play football, be famous.
You'll grow more, own a chain of stores, marry Betty Lou.
Well, it is Texas, so no shit they'd be in support of child marriage. Folks, I just want to apologize to anyone who may be offended by anything that goes on in this portion of the review. I apologize to the people of Texas. I apologize to Cowboys fans. Wait, no I don't. I saw that Giants game. I hate you! And the Jets just got an interception. After dinner, North runs into Bruce Willis again. Yeah, he has multiple appearances in this thing where he plays a variety of characters who give North advice. I think he's supposed to be like a guardian angel type, even though Dan Aykroyd can see him as well. I don't know. He says a bunch of rubbish that is supposed to be deep, but it isn't. And North decides this place isn't for him, so he decides to look elsewhere. But before he leaves, Willis shoots a silver dollar and gives it to North for good luck. And that luck would lead North down south to Hawaii, where he meets his new parents, Governor Ho and Mrs. Ho, played by Keon Young and, oh, Lauren Tom, no. You were Jinx, and Number 3, and Amy Wong, and Miko from The Facts of Life. Well, if there's one good thing Elijah Wood can say about his experience in this movie, at least he got a Hawaiian vacation out of it, and got paid for it too. But why have the Hoes chosen North to be their new son?
Hawaii is a lush and fertile land. In fact, there's only one barren area on all of our islands. Unfortunately, it's Mrs. Ho.
Husband of the year material you are. So the Hoes definitely seem like a step up from Ma and Pa Tex. That is, until they reveal an ad for North parodying the Copper Tone Girl? Why?
Son, that'll be in every airport, along every highway.
My crack? My crack is going to be shown at every airport?
Now, son.
What gives you the right to show my crack in every highway?
These movie writers are on crack, that's why.
I'm the governor of a state that's running a little low on self-esteem. After 35 years of statehood, people still don't treat Hawaii like we're part of the country.
People from the mainland just don't care about Hawaii.
Self-esteem? Motherfucker, you are advertising what is basically child porn so that people can come to your island? No shit, people don't want to come. You people are sick. I should mention at the time I'm writing this script that Maui was just hit by the wildfires, so I apologize in advance. But Jesus, what a load of rubbish this movie is. If this was supposed to be advertisement for Hawaii, ho-ho, it sure as hell doesn't work. Where's CPS when you need them? And again, North decides this place isn't for him. No shit. So he heads north as north can go, to Alaska. And this is where the stereotyping really rears its ugly head here. Igloos with garages in 1994? And his parents aren't any better. Filling the role of Eskimo Dad is Canadian actor Graham Greene, and Eskimo Mom played by Kathy Bates and Brownface? What? Well, it was either that or Sarah Palin, so this was a loss either way.
We have pride, North, and we're proud of our pride. We wouldn't ask anything of a child.
All we want is for you to follow your dreams and be the best North you can be.
And if you misbehave, we'll freeze your legs and smash them with a hammer. You know, speaking of misery, and this goes a little bit off topic, did you know that in that Littlest Pet Shop cartoon from a few years ago, there actually was a misery parody? Yeah, really. They had an episode where Penny Ling, the panda, ties Pepper the skunk up to the bed and tortures her with her terrible comedy. You know what Penny Ling really should have done to torture Pepper? Show her this movie. Alright, I admit it. I just needed an excuse to use that clip. Sorry. It's still funnier than the movie. So the movie has been bad so far, but here is where it just gets traumatic. We're introduced to the grandpa played by Abe fucking Vigoda, who joins North and his new parents on a hike to the ocean. Why? So they can put Abe Vigoda on an ice floe and send him out to his death.
Well, goodbye, North.
Are you sure you have to go?
Oh, don't worry about him, North. He's had a great life, and he's happy to set sail before he starts embarrassing himself.
You bastards! This man broke his ass in Good Burger for you people, and this is the thanks he gets? This is supposed to take place in 1994, not the 1800s. Also, one of the ice floes has a TV on it. Does Abe's get Wi-Fi? These two apparently can't afford to keep the old man around, but were able to bid big bucks on North. Speaking of which, where is all that money going, you ask? Why, it's going all to Winchell. Turns out, he's a motherfucking grifter. He's using all that money and power to turn himself into a mini Donald Thump. And the scary thing is, even with all the star power in the movie, he's the only actor who's putting his all into this role. He is an evil, little, power-hungry bastard who wants to brainwash kids into making their parents do their bidding and make a shit ton of money doing it. This movie is almost 30 years old, and it predicts the absolute virus that is grifting today. It's actually kind of profound. Anyway, North's search for a new family doesn't get any better. He tries an Amish family, but pisses off because they don't have electricity. He tries China, but rejects them because bad haircut. He tries Africa, but rejects it because boobies. Also, the Africa set totally doesn't look like it was filmed in the backwoods of North Jersey. You kidding me with those trees? Congratulations, movie. You're being so stereotypical, you make Bwubba look more dignified. Finally, North does find a family. A normal family for once, with the late John Ritter as the dad, and Scarlett Johansson in her first ever movie role. So does this mean that Frodo is technically part of the MCU? So it looks like North has finally found the perfect family, and really, what took him so long? He went to 30 different countries and all he had to do was go to New Jersey. But then Winchell sends his lackey Al, played by Robert Costanzo, to send a clearly edited video making it look like North's parents are disavowing their son. Okay, so I guess that means North is staying with his new family, right? Nope. For whatever reason, he again decides to hit the road. President Winchell, however, is not pleased with this news.
As we speak, grown-ups across this great land of ours are feeling humiliated. They blame North for all their frustrations. Do you realize how many of those angry parents would like nothing better than to do away with our little friend? And do you know the one catalyst that can give a political movement true cohesion? That's right, a martyr.
Or an insurrection. So suddenly, in this movie's final act, all hell breaks loose. Al is chasing after North, trying to fucking kill him with a gun, and of course there's no police around to save him. In New York City.
You won't see him no more.
Holy shit, there's blood all over the broken borscht boxes. Eventually North does run into Bruce Willis again, who offers him a ride to the airport.
And remember, kid, if you can't stand the heat, stay out of Miami.
Well, what does that metaphor mean?
What metaphor? You ever been down there in August? Your balls stick to your leg like crazy glue.
That's the funniest joke you're ever gonna get, and it's in a PG-rated movie. Lovely. North eventually does make it home, and is it me or does the interior of this house look identical to the interior of John Ritter's house? I swear, that archway and the staircase placement look oddly familiar. I guess they ran out of budget for interiors. Winchell learns that North is in fact not dead, and sends Al out to hunt him down again. Meanwhile, North's parents have been moved to North's special spot in the mall. North races to get to them, and... That's right, folks. This entire movie with all the bad jokes and bad stereotyping was all just a dream conducted from the mind of an 11-year-old. Get fucking wrecked. Okay, so if this whole thing was a dream, how would North know that Winchell was grifting off of him the whole time? How does he know about Senecide in Alaska? Why was every family in this movie a goddamn stereotype, and why did he choose to go with them? What is Bruce Willis? No, I'll do you one better. Why is Bruce Willis? Speaking of which, North finds he still has the coin with the bullet hole from Texas. So it wasn't a dream? Then he ends up going back home with George and Elaine, and all is right with the world. There's no mention of Winchell or John Lovitz or guys with guns or anything. It's all back to normal. Allegedly. And to all those critics and all those reviewers and whatnot who say that this is the worst comedy of all time, yeah, I agree with them. This movie sucks. It's impressive how a movie with a talented director, a talented cast, and a talented writer can produce such a stunning amount of drivel. It starts out bad in the beginning, gets progressively worse in the middle, and just becomes horrifying in the final act. It's just not a fun watch. With all the racism aside, it's just poking fun of a bunch of stereotypes with no actual punchlines. And seeing all these actors make complete fools of themselves is depressing because you know they can all do better. Thank God Elijah Wood got picked up for Lord of the Rings because his career was really in the doldrums back in the 90s. And this movie was a career death inherited straight from Mount Doom. Lord of the Rings was the resurrection. I asked this question when I was doing a watch of the movie on Jaimetud stream, and my question was, would this have worked today? I don't think so. I mean, people always say the same thing about Blazing Saddles, but at least Blazing Saddles had jokes with actual punchlines. This movie gave us old man genocide and 11-year-old boy crack. Hardcore tumor. I haven't actually read the book, but my friend Cody Slusher, aka The Critical Kid, is working on a book versus movie comparison video, so stay tuned for that in the near future. Until next time, I'm the Hardcore Dude. Peace out and cease. Now I'm going to go watch a funny comedy, like Young Frankenstein, or Blazing Saddles, or Austin Powers. Anything but this. See you later.